It's a cold day here in Arkansas, but that's okay because this video has enough heat for all of us. Yikes, that was rough. Anyway, most e-commerce brands don't know that for every one sale they make, 2.3 abandoned carts slip through their fingers. And that's only one of the 4 abandonment types that we're going over today and systematically saving your e-commerce brand from. Here's the deal. In 2026, email marketing isn't just a nice to have for your brand. It's a non-negotiable requirement to be profitable. Why? Because email is still the highest ROI marketing channel on the planet. It costs just a few cents to send an email while brands are burning thousands on meta ads just to get traffic. Without a solid email game, you're just pouring that traffic into a leaky bucket only to have to go and spend more money on ads to capture them again. It's this strategy that helps our clients pull in 40 to 50% of their overall revenue from email and SMS marketing alone. So while there are hundreds of videos that we could make on email marketing, today I'm going to show you exactly how to set up the 4 must-have email abandonment flows to stop losing sales and start turning those abandonments into customers. I'm Dalton Davis. I'm the founder of Newsy, an email and SMS marketing agency that helps our clients generate 40 to 50% of their overall revenue from email and SMS alone. Our job is to make our clients as much money as possible from their current audience, and we're pretty good at it. So before we dive into this guide, I just want to tell you everything we're going over is available in the description below. But before we dive into the details, we have to answer the question that you might be wondering: why email? Well, I'm glad you asked. Email is one of the most cost-effective ways to turn attention into revenue. So once you capture a lead, you own that line of communication. So you don't have to pay Zuck or the Google gods every time you want to talk to your audience. But just like social media, most people check their inboxes every single day. Most of us check our inboxes multiple times a day. But unlike social feeds, your message isn't at the mercy of an algorithm. So essentially, you show up where their attention already is. And if you're still not convinced, industry studies consistently show email generates an average of $36 to $42 for every $1 spent. And you compare that to social media, which generates $2 for every $1 spent, and you realize it's not even close. It's cheap to send, you're building an owned asset, and it's sitting at the center of everybody's daily routine. And here we just got a graphic showing $1 in, $2 out, versus $1 in and $42 out. Pretty crazy when you look at it like that. So hopefully that helps things click with you. So now that we're all on board, let's get started. First, you need to have an email sending provider, or ESP. You need to have that set up with the correct authentications and triggers. And the most common setup, and what I personally recommend and like to use for my clients the most, is Shopify and Klaviyo. They both do an awesome job. You can't go wrong. And if you're missing any of these triggers, specifically the added to cart trigger, which most of the accounts that I audit don't have, there is a link in the description of this video to a Klaviyo guide showing you how to get that. Essentially, you just need to recalibrate your integration between Klaviyo and Shopify. It's really easy to get those triggers up and running, and it's super common, and it's really not that big of a deal. Just read the guide, and in my experience, it might take a few minutes for the integration to sync, but don't worry, it's really easy. So the first flows we're talking about are the 2 most important: the abandoned cart and abandoned checkout flows. And this is the last time I'm going to say anything about it. Please make sure your metrics are set up properly. Like, it's so easy to fix, but many brands just don't do it for some reason. So what we're going to do now is just go over the exact emails we build and send out for our clients to be as efficient and abandonment proof as possible. So this is how we do it. So in my opinion, it's all right to save the time it takes to just build these out and give them the same copy, but with different designs, different colors, things like that. Just change them up a little bit because this content is all built to convert. So they'll basically be the same flows, just with different design and different triggers. So cart and checkout. So for these 2 flows, we are sending out 4 emails each. We don't just do 1 or 2 emails because that's like really easy to just miss or to forget. We want to instead reach out and have the perfect amount of touch points to help the soccer moms that are juggling a million things, or the dude who's just waiting until Friday to get his paycheck, or the people who just forgot what they were looking at. So first off, here's just a little diagram to show the overall view of what we're doing here, with the purpose of each email, along with the timing and like a sneak peek of the designs. So for email 1 to start, we just want to hit them pretty quick after their abandonment. So we start with a 30-minute time delay. You definitely want to test all of these time delays. It's just a simple reminder, and we show them that their items are abandoned, show them what they abandoned, and then you give a little bit of info about the brand and their products. So it's super simple. You just show them the item, little product info, and then you just get out of the way. And so then after that, we hit them every day for 3 days in a row. So email number 2 is an email from the founder, or it could be someone from your team. You can make somebody up, make a real personality, whatever you want. It's just a personal reach out and reminder. And then we can also add like a study or review or some sort of social proof. These are OP, and if you're not doing these text-based reminders, I promise they will level up your email and SMS game. And also they're way easier to build out too, so it's a win-win. And I bet you the founder of your competitors aren't reaching out to potential customers. If you think about it, a founder reaching out to you to get you to buy is extremely impactful and also just incredibly uncommon in the inbox. These are great because it just looks like a friend is reaching out. It's got a simple and clear button that's super easy to click, and it just absolutely prints. So email number 3, that's going to be the next day, and we just hit them with another graphic-based email, except this time, since we know that we may actually have to work to get them back, and they didn't just forget, it's not a forgotten cart or a forgotten checkout, it's actually an abandoned cart, we do decide to give them a little incentive to come back. So this is usually a discount, but you can also do a free gift or shipping or something like that. You know your brand best, you know what people want the best. Some brands like to lead off with a discount, but we know that e-commerce is a game of margins, and we're trying to keep everything we can. So we just introduce this a little bit later. So we show them their items that they abandoned, and then I like to throw in a review or an FAQ section just to reverse risk and speak to any concerns that they might have. And this email's a winner for sure. It's really simple. Just give them a discount, then a button high up in the email, then that dynamic block, which we'll go over in a little bit, and then risk reversals and FAQs. And we just like to finish this one off with a final CTA. Then email number 4, for the last email, we just hit them with another text-based message from the founder or from your ecom director or a made-up personality, whatever you want. And it's just a personal reach out saying it's their last chance to use the discount and then to reply if they had any issues. So it's a great way to wrap up the flow, and you can also get some great feedback from customers. Quick note, PS sections in plain text emails absolutely rock. It's the second most read part of any email, only to be beat by the first line of an email. And PS lines just feel more personal, and people really like it. So if you have something important, put it in the PS section. It's almost like a TLDR, where you just put the point of the email or the call to action one more time, and people will respond. So honestly, these are all incredibly simple and don't take a lot of work, just a little bit of thought and a little bit of intentionality, maybe some creativity, but you got a ton of that. Now to talk about building out these flows. It's really tough to build out the dynamic content on Klaviyo, so I actually like to start out with a pre-made template. So for abandoned cart, you want the abandoned cart reminder with parentheses, it says Shopify added to cart, because that is the correct one that actually works. The other ones, yeah. Just don't goof up on that. Use that one. The trigger is already set up with the right filters, and so if they check out or place an order or have been in the flow already in the last week, they won't be put in the flow again, which is exactly what we want. Change the 4-hour delay to a 30-minute delay. And for this video, we're not going over SMS, but if you are using SMS, keep in mind, it is illegal to send more than one SMS message per abandonment flow. And then time delays after that are set to 1 day. For subject lines and preview text, don't think too hard. Just start with something that makes sense. Then you just test from there. And then I did leave a few subject lines in this doc for every email for you to try out, just if you want to use that. For this first one, it can be forgetting something. You know, that's a good one. Or I like your order is ready to ship. Now, really the entire reason we're using this flow template is for the dynamic content in the actual emails. So let's open this up. And we're really just wanting to keep this block right here with some of the dynamic content that it's going to show us whatever items and info is specific to the triggered event. So, triggered event being abandonment. And as long as the code is the same in here, you can change how it looks, whether it's size or shape or structure of the block. You can do the entire build out right here in Klaviyo by editing text. You can add your logo, or you can do what we do and build out email designs in Figma. So take this design right here, you export it, and then you leave space for your dynamic content. So you just slice it, do 600 pixels wide, 2x the size, export as a JPEG. And then we like to use iloveimg.com to compress our images. This just helps everything load faster in the inbox. Then you upload the image just like this. So yeah, be creative with it. It can all be images, won't hurt your deliverability. That's a big rumor that people say, but we almost exclusively use images for our clients, and we're consistently getting over 50% open rates, low bounce rates, high click rates, everything. It doesn't impact anything. Or you could just do it all in Klaviyo, and it's just that the design will be a little bit more difficult if you want to make it look really good. And then for text-based emails, you just go back to the template, hit the 3 dots, change template again, then you click text only. And we like to use Arial size 14 for our clients. And then in this doc, I'm also going to have all the links you need to make sure that the Shop Now button and anything else you'd want to put in here actually works. And again, that doc is in the description. After that, you just duplicate the emails and the time delays, and it's just more of the same. Just change the design and text in the plain text email. And don't forget to make your discount code in Shopify. Otherwise, you're going to have some angry customers who were promised a discount but then didn't get it. So next to build out, we have the abandoned checkout, which is mostly all the same setup, but we want to use this template instead. It's the abandoned checkout reminder, and in parentheses, standard, and we want to use the email and SMS one. The trigger is checkout started. It looks exactly the same, but it's just got a different trigger and different filters. And everything else is exactly the same in the flow build out, but the dynamic content is a little different, which is why we use the templates and we use different ones. And the great thing is that it already has the correct dynamic content built in. So just do what you did for the abandoned cart flow, copy that line in the guide, and you're good to go. So those two flows are super important for your retention marketing. So moving up the funnel, we now have the browse abandonment flow. So this is triggered by someone going to your site, viewing a product, but then they don't add to cart. Once again, the flow build out is all here with a similar setup to the previous flows, but it's focusing more on social proof and risk reversals and FAQs, just things like that, because there's a chance they're actually not ready to buy, but they're still thinking about it. So we need to call back to why they checked this out in the first place and convince them that we have the solution to their problem or their desire. So for email 1, we've got a 1 to 2 hour time delay. We found that that's the sweet spot for this email, just because there's a good chance they're doing some research and figuring out what it is they want exactly. And this gives them some time to get educated in their search and then come back around to what they already looked at. There is more flexibility in this flow because they're not so far down funnel. So we do show them what they're looking at for sure, but then still work to validate the brand and show them other products in case they want to make a lateral movement. One quick design note, you should change the copy to acknowledge that they showed interest rather than trying to just close the sale. Then add social proof and other products. Email number 2 is going to go out a day later, and it's the same reminder, but with some FAQs, which is the same content from the other flows, which, keep in mind, might feel redundant, but we're ultimately trying to put content in front of them that converts. And so if the FAQ doesn't convert, but you have some emblems about guarantees or free shipping or free returns, American made, things like that, or maybe a review or two that really work, just use those. And then email number 3 is going out a day later again, and you just send them the discount opener. Now, I like to open this email with a question because when there's a question, people generally lean towards answering. So you open up the discount, you show the product, and then give them some more options in case they're interested, especially now that there's a discount. Email 4 is the last one in this flow, and this is your text-based final notice with that personal touch from the founder or director of marketing, whatever it may be, and maybe some background info about the brand to connect with them a little bit better. So with this, just make it personal. Talk about the origins of your company, talk about the old days in mom's garage, and sell them not just on the product, but on you as a person and a team. And you also throw the last chance discount in there. This is a super solid flow that makes bank. For building this flow in Klaviyo, we're just going to go back to the pre-built templates and use the browse abandonment standard with email and SMS. And this one has a viewed product trigger. Just verify the trigger on the inside. Also, just check the filters, and if they don't already have it, add that they haven't added to cart since starting the flow. This means that if the flow works and they add to cart, they're not going to stay in the browse abandonment flow and then receive multiple flow emails at the same time. Super simple. Time delay is 1 hour, and then they get sent emails every day after that. And then it's pretty much more of the same here as far as building goes. The only thing worth noting is that if you're building the emails in Klaviyo, they actually have some solid product blocks that you can set up as bestseller features or customize the exact products you want them to see. Last, but definitely not least, this is the most underrated flow in e-commerce email marketing. We have the flow that nobody ever has when I'm auditing. And it's sad because it gets more traffic out of all of these flows, and it's super easy to set up and to test. This is the site abandonment flow. So this is for when they go to your site, but they don't buy, they don't even add to cart, they don't even look at a product. This is the first line of abandonment defense. So we really don't want to skip it. Now to the strat page here. So you can do just one email, but it's just so easy to add a personal touch from the founder that it's like, why wouldn't you? And these text-based emails are just fantastic. So email 1, we do a longer time delay this time just because it feels kind of crazy if you barely look at a site and then immediately or 15 minutes later get an email saying hey, we missed you. Just give some clingy girlfriend vibes. Not really interested in that. So you just got to play it cool, relax, give them some time to breathe. We like to start with 3 to 5 hours. If this is your first time doing it, hit it on the dot, 4 hours, and that's a solid start. Just test that out though and let the results tell you what to do. And all we're doing in this email is just trying to get them back on the site to look at some products or look at some collections, and then give them access to your support line in case something actually went wrong, which is good for you to know. So this is a good spot to introduce multiple categories inside the header. And this works well just by having 2 buttons. Then you show off the best sellers with some variety to catch as many lost sheep as possible. After that, you just bring attention to how you have an open ear and you're ready to help. After that, like I said before, this is just an easy add-on that only helps and never hurts. These people are probably new to the brand, and to have someone as important as the founder come in and hold their hand in the shopping process, it's just a really big help. You do have to remember, it's not a pitch, you are just lending a helping hand because they're pretty cold. Also, in your PS section, this is a great place to have a blog, YouTube videos. If you're in the news for something, it's a great place to link to that because your products weren't really doing it. So let your brand speak for you. And then this one doesn't have a template in Klaviyo, so you can just start from scratch, you title it whatever you want, and then you use the active on-site metric. And then here are the filters right here. Really simple. Just plug these in, and there's no dynamic content to plug in because they didn't see any products, they didn't add to cart, they didn't go to checkout. So you can just get to work on building this one out with the designed email being on Figma, or you can do it in Klaviyo, and then text-based is in Klaviyo. So there you have it. That's all 4 abandonment flows that are going to make you or save you thousands of dollars a month, depending on how you look at it. Now, these are going to work really well, but we're always searching for ways to improve, which is why we A/B test every email and every flow from the start, just to make sure we're not missing out on any optimizations. So right here, I've got a list of A/B tests that you can perform on every email, and this is just the start. You got to keep in mind that these probably aren't going to double your revenue from an email, but sometimes they might. More likely what you'll see is like a 5 to 10% incremental increase with every A/B test. But every now and again, you just nail it. My recommendation for these flows is to start with subject lines and that first email time delay. But you got to remember, every brand is different and none of these rules are absolute. Now, the secret sauce to optimizing your abandonment flows is just adding successful campaigns. Personally, I'm a work smarter, not harder kind of guy. Currently, I'm working smarter and harder, which is great. But the more I can accomplish with the same amount of work, the better. So my favorite task stacking method in email marketing is adding campaigns that work incredibly well to my automated flows. So to be clear, you should be sending 3 to 4 email campaigns per week, and most of them should be discount free. So this style of email marketing accomplishes a few things. 1, it protects your profit margins. 2, keeps your audience from being price sensitive or discount hungry. And we all know what that's like. It sucks. 3, forces you to provide value in your emails versus lazy discount shoving. Some of you might not have liked that. Lastly, it builds the status of your brand as authority, premium, and in demand. So the way I do this is that when I have a campaign or an angle that absolutely crushes, take that, whether it's an idea or an angle or an entire campaign, and you edit it to fit it into your abandonment flow, and then you throw it in there wherever it makes sense. And the simple logic behind this is my current list really liked what they saw. And so if somebody is on the edge of buying, there's a good chance they'll really like it too. And just because this kind of marketing is more difficult, it's more mentally draining, takes more creativity, I put together this ChatGPT prompt that helps you generate 100 unique non-discount campaign topics. I've got a video walking you through how to do it, and then also the full prompt below. Thank you so much for watching this. I know that you've got those 4 flows down, and nobody will ever abandon a cart, browse abandon, check out abandon. No one will ever do that for your brand ever again because you've got these installed and you're crushing it. Now, if you're an e-commerce brand doing 30K per month or more, and you think it's time to level up your email marketing, book a call in the link in the description, and I will personally make sure that you're doing everything you can to knock email and SMS out of the park. With all that being said, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, watch my other videos, and go send some emails.